Hi, this is Kat with Beadaholique, and in this video I'm going to be talking all about carrier beads. Now you may have seen these before, and what they are these two-hole Czech glass beads. And let me draw your attention right down here so I can show you them. So we have two different sizes. So we have the smaller size and we have the larger size. So that smaller size, just if you're looking for some exact measurements, that's going to be about 9 millimeters to 17, and the large one is 11 by 22, but you can just see how much a few millimeters really makes a difference. So I'm going to be talking about some of the bead weaving options that we have with this and also some of the stringing options. So if you look here on the side, these are two-hole beads, so they have two holes on them, and you can see that they both have two holes. Now what's really interesting is if you take a look at the side profile there, you'll notice that those two holes are exactly the same length apart. So you're going to get 8 millimeters worth of space from hole to hole. Now the great part about that is that you can actually string them together and you're not going to have to worry about tapering down or doing anything like that. So if you did want to do something that was straight through, you have the opportunity to do that, which I think is great and it's really genius. So let's start talking about some of the inspirations that you might come across when you're using carrier beads. Now here's a perfect example. This is actually one of our exclusive Beadaholique kits, so you can actually purchase the kit and you'll get all the supplies needed to make this bracelet, and we have a full tutorial video walking you from start to finish on exactly how to create this type of design. So one of the great things about this is you can see that you can utilize other two-hole beads, like these, for example, are the Tinos Parpuca, and we also have some beautiful Swarovski pearls in there just to add a little bit of color. But if you sort of kind of peek at the side here, you can see that it is up with a nice row of Miyuki 11 Delicas, and this is done in a beautiful peyote stitch. Now, you'll see from the side view here, and I actually have a bead that doesn't have anything else attached, so it lays nice and flush. So this is actually 6 beads across, so you can get a nice even pattern. But if you wanted to do an odd count pattern, you can go to 5 or you can go to 7, just knowing that you'll have your beads out a little bit from the bead, from the carrier bead rather. So this is a really wonderful thing, and it's nice and secure there, and we've secured it with some E6000 glue. That's what we recommend for using this. So all you do is you do your little ring of bead weaving and then you kind of slide it on with a little bit of glue. And we have, of course, a video showing you how to do that step by step. So this is just one of the examples. This is sort of more of a standard example that you're going to see using the carrier beads. It's just sort of using them to hold on or carry that bead weaving for you. So this uses that smaller carrier bead. So you can actually just see the size difference between one without the bead weaving and one with the bead weaving. It's quite a sizable difference. So just to kind of give you a little bit of knowledge on that. All right, so let me first start by saying that I love using the carrier beads, and we have these new larger sizes. Now, I wanted to kind of separate these for you because we have some great colorful versions that you can match to your designs, but we also have some great neutral versions. So if you're doing a silver or this is a beautiful gunmetal, we also do have clear carrier beads, so you can actually see the thread path in these, nice and easy. But what's really great is that these will disappear into your design. So it's something to consider. Now here's another option. So this is actually using those large carrier beads, and I chose the black. I just love the way it played with that green. This is that peridot shimmer from Swarovski crystal and some Swarovski crystal pearls. And what I did is I took a little strip of bead weaving, but I only placed it on 3, and I used 2 of those as blank carrier beads, just as nice, clean 2-hole beads. So this is a great option if you find that maybe the bead weaving is a bit overwhelming, you want to space it out, so you can do that as well. And here's another little tip for you. So this pattern, you can see that it's just got those little sort of daisies, those little black-eyed Susan-like flowers there, but this is the exact same pattern on all 3 beads. All I did was shift it around the bead, and I'm going to show you kind of what that looks like in a minute here. So I recommend, if you're looking for some peyote bead weaving materials here, we have the 4-pound nanofill, and this is really nice. It's a nice clear mist. You can actually just see kind of how clear it is on the, of course this is a gray spool, but it's nice and clear. And this is going to be really great for a lot of your bead weaving. It's going to be nice and thin, so because you're going to be doing zipping up of the peyote, so you're going to be going back and forth through those beads a couple of times. So I recommend the nanofill. And then I'm going to be using some beading wire here in just a minute, so I'll get to that. But let's bring your eye back down here. I want to show you kind of what I mean by this zip up. So I have a strip of this peyote, And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to kind of pull this together here so you can just see that it has these little tiny teeth that kind of come together. So those are just going to zip up really nicely. Again, I'm not going to do it in this video for you, but we do have that full video, but they just kind of disappear. So you can just sort of see that they sort of fit together like little bricks and disappear. So that is how that works. All right, now let's say you wanted to try something a little different. Well, over here, I have some of those large carrier beads, and I wanted to do an odd count pattern. Now, the benefit with doing peyote odd count is that you actually can get a little point, you can get a chevron, you can create diamonds because you have that center line here. So these are 5 across, and the reason I wanted to do that is because I just love this gold color, and I thought it was so beautiful to showcase, so I went with a really nice shiny pattern here. I have all 3 of those seed beads, and then I wanted to showcase a little bit on that side. So you can see that it's a little bit less of the bead weaving that you're going to see in a finished design, so you're going to see a little bit more of that pop. But here's something that's actually kind of cool. So I made this pattern here, and you can kind of see that it's a little abstract, and on the back, it's a totally different pattern. So I sort of found a way to do that, and these beads, they're going to be, so this one, for example, is 5 across, but it is 30 around. So that's how much it is around on the large beads. On the smaller beads, it's going to be 24 around. But this is just a really great fun thing. So you kind of have like 15 rows or so to play with, and then you can create something really fun and different on the back. So what you're doing is you're creating a dual design. So again, you can just see that things are a little different on the back and different on the front. So anyway, just a fun little thing. You guys can see that I added a little bit more blue on that one, and a little bit more pink on this guy, and a little more blue on the back. So just have a lot of fun creating these designs. So of course, carrier beads are meant to, we think that they're meant to go around, but there's nothing saying that you can't go around the sides, and that's sort of what I've done here. So to go around the sides, now this is the smaller one, and you can see that it just sort of fits over those 2 beads. So this is 4 wide, and I think that fits. You could, if I scooch it, you could probably sneak a 5th bead in there, but you're going to be really tight with your stringing material. So if you did want to do an odd count, you could do 3 across. It'll be nice and tiny and adorable, but definitely an option for you. But this is going to be 4 across, and then on the small ones, it's going to be 16 rows around. And on the large ones, I did the 4 across as well, because remember those holes are the same width apart. And then it is going to be 20 around. So we're going to have a lot of patterns over at Beadaholique.com to help you guys out with this. But I just wanted to kind of show you maybe one of the options and some of the tips that I might have for stringing. So for this, I'm going to be using a nice thin beading wire because I'm going to be needing some seed beads, which let me pull out here. And I'm going to kind of choose a really contrasting color so that you guys can really see what's happening here. So this is a bright yellow. This is probably not going to be my finished design, but I just want you guys to really see what's going on. All right, so let's say, for example, on my top row here, I want to pick up 1 seed bead, and let me pick up one of my 4mm Czech glass beads, and now I'm going to pick up 2 seed beads, because what's going to happen is if I'm going to go through that top hole there, I'm going to need a little bit of space. So I want to have a little space for those 2 beads to kind of sit there. Now, let's show you what it looks like. If you only do 1, it'll just fit a little snugger, but you can absolutely do that too. It just starts to butt up with that little bead weaving that we have going on there. So I'm going to go back to 2, and I'm going to go ahead and string that on. And then I'm going to sort of repeat that, and I'm just going to pick up 2 more, and I'm going to pick up another one of my 4mm, and let's just go ahead and finish it off by picking up 2 more. Okay, so let's call that our top row there. So what we're going to do now here on the bottom is let me pick up one of those seed beads, and we're just going to kind of repeat here, picking up 1, picking up 2, and we're going to go through that second hole, and now let's pick up 2. And now, because this is our bottom row here, one of the things I want to do, and this is kind of the start of it, is I want to get a nice curvature. So I'm going to pick up an 8mm bead. You can do 6 as well. I'm going to go bold, and I'm going to pick up that 8, and I'm going to go through and get 2 more seed beads, just like so. All right, so it's kind of flipping around on me. All right, there we go. My wire's a little coiled. There we go. All right, so you can kind of see what's happening there, you know, so you can start at one end and then you start adding the larger beads. And then when you're ready to, let's add one of those larger carrier beads. So let's just string this guy on. And we'll string this guy on here too. Oops. Making a mess of my seed beads. There we go. So now what's going to happen is when you kind of pull that together, you're going to get that nice curvature, that little taper effect. So that could be one option for you. Now again, you can do one seed bead in between all of those, but you can just see how it starts to create a nice little small curve. And again, you can see this in my example here. Let me bring my other necklace back. This is a really easy way to see it. So you can see that there's two different colors, or excuse me, two different sizes of those pearls there, and that's creating that nice little curvature there. So we're using that two-hole design. So that is just some little tips about using the carrier beads. I hope you guys really have fun using these. We have a lot of fun creating new patterns for these. If you have some suggestions about what you'd like to see done with carrier beads, or hey, share in the comments below what you've done. We'd love to hear that. So thanks for watching, guys. Be sure to hit that subscribe button if you're new here to Beadaholique, and be sure to head over to Beadaholique.com to shop all you've seen here.